Hey guys, Palsteron here, and today let's talk about my day 2 update for the KB of clustering Whisperer. So we just finished a 12-hour farming session over on twitch.tv/Palsteron, and basically since yesterday, a lot of things have happened. I'm now level 95. I've got 115 out of 115. Mapping with this build is an absolute joke. It is like one of the easiest mappers I've ever done, and I've done a few of the bosses. Now, the reason I haven't done all of the bosses is because this build single target damage very much hinges on stuff being inside a map, inside packs, right? So indoors, insane. Outdoors, if there's mobs nearby, insane. The only absolute stinker for this build is, for example, Searing Exile, like just one boss in the middle of a map, nothing surrounding it, right? So Searing Exile, Quest Searing Exile was pretty easy because it doesn't have much HP, but even stuff like Baron was annoying as hell. And then, yeah, at this point, I'm pretty sure I outgear Shaper and Maven. Maven, we're gonna see. Maybe I have to get some more damage upgrades to get my single target up. Currently, I think my POB is like 1 million, 1.5 million with a few overlaps, right? Uber Elder, I might have to wait a little bit, and then Shaper should be pretty easy. Otherwise, I'm having an absolute blast with the build. I'm going to talk about some idle stuff at the end of the video once I'm done with the build stuff, but I would highly recommend going Legion or Breach. I will show you my Legion setup then as well. Now, in terms of the build, I want to quickly talk about everything I've done since yesterday and also some of the questions that came up on stream. First thing, I upgraded my wand here. So basically what you're looking for on this is not a Recombinator wand. A Recombinator wand would be even better. That's the one in my mid-game POB, like a Fizzes Extra Cold, Fizzes Extra Lightning, plus suffixes and whatnot. And it is not a GG Recombinator, which would be even more expensive, which would be like 50 to 100 one. This one ran me around 4 divines. Now, when it comes to making this one, if you know how to recombinate, you can maybe get a similar or a better one for around about 4 to 10 divines, but I'll just tell you how I made this one in particular. So you see there's 5 mods here, right? Like the can have up to free crafted modifier is not a mod. The pen mod is a crafted mod, but you see attack speed, crit, spell damage, and mana. Those are the 4 important mods. And what you want to do when you start crafting is have one of those 4 mods as a fracture. So for example, mana fracture, spell damage fracture, crit fracture, or increased attack speed fracture. You want to have it on an engraved or an imbued wand. Now, imbued is the same base as an engraved wand, just with different physical damage, which doesn't matter. You have so much added damage, it's a drop in a bucket. But engraved wand doesn't really have a lot of fractures because it's a low level one. Imbued wand is a little bit worse because it needs 188 int, but it should not really be that big of an issue. But get any fracture there and as high as you can. Then you're going to use Shrieking Essences of Woe. Right here I have a Screaming, right? So for example, a Shrieking would be this. Now, the reason it's Shrieking is because if you're putting divines into a build, you might as well. This one goes from 67 to 82. So then you'll have the fracture plus the spell damage from the essence, and then you just need to hit any third mod that's good. Crit multi, by the way, also goes. Crit multi is very strong as well, but crit strike and attack speed are a lot better, both of them. But yeah, anything you want to hit, and you want to get it to 3 mods, right? So you just want to have as a non-fracture, you want spell damage and 1 more mod. For me, that's the crit strike chance right here. And you want to do that with Orb of Annulments. They're pretty cheap right now. They're like 4 or 5 chaos. And once you have that, if you don't hit it, you have to go again. But once you have that, you have to go, can have 3 crafted modifiers. This is this one right here. It costs 2 divines. That is half of the cost. But this means you can put on 2 more crafts. In this case, for me, it's attack speed and pen. If you, for example, had attack speed up top, you craft crit instead. In order to get this craft, you need to be completing a Putrid Cloister map, which are quite expensive right now. If you're in a guild, just share it with people. Maybe you can find some people, but it's around about 50 chaos right now. You need it for completion anyways, so might as well. But you get that at the end, or maybe somebody else you know has it. And yeah, then you craft the other 2 on. The pen is just a random Jun Unveil. Second question I got, should you buy Astramentis? Astramentis is okay. I didn't even put any catalysts on there. The reason was I had a decent deal, so I did it. I paid around about 2 divines for it, which isn't great, but it made my pathing a lot easier. I was able to remove this int node right here. I didn't have to think about attributes at all anymore. So that's basically why I took Astramentis. It's not crazy. The other question I get, why do I not have a better helmet yet? Answer is pretty simple. I still do not want to buy a Mind of the Council. It's really overpriced. Last time I checked, it was 2.5 divs. Yeah, it still is. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have bought it over the Astro Mantis, but that's hindsight, whatever. Usually, I don't know, like, let me just do this trade because I'm poor, but usually it's just not worth that much. Also, I still needed to kind of fix my res, and also, I don't know, like, I really wanted to craft this wand. The wand gave me like 40% more damage. The helmet would have only been like 25% more, but that will be something soon. I also don't have clusters yet. Now, if you look at my tree, you will see these bad nodes that are basically just there because I can't really afford the cluster that I want, the one in the POB, and it is 10% maximum mana here, right? Like, these nodes can all be replaced. The damage per dexterity is also not great. I even took this shitty mastery. I will respec all of those and then take a cluster eventually. Now, I also saw a few people who didn't really like Mana Forged Arrow that early and they respec'd into this build. For you, important to understand is this build is not as big on dexterity. It's another scaling vector. It's not everything on this build. You need attack speed and crit multi. So if you have very low crit multi, very, very bad. Get it from jewels, get it from the passive tree, get it everywhere you can. And you also need attack speed. That is the difference. And so adjust to that accordingly. Also, a little correction. I, for some reason, had physical to lightning here. That was probably just because I was, I don't know, sleep drunk or something. LE damage with attacks, I just literally put it in, is definitely the choice for Jodris, because here I have Power Siphon of the Archmage, which obviously doesn't have any fizz damage. So I was just basically running around with a 3-link on my ballistas. Hasn't happened before, but pretty funny. Now let me check what else I have changed. Oh, I've put a few, so I have 2 implicits here that I made with stuff I found. So I found lesser Eldritch and lesser Embers and Icarus here. So I got the fizz taken as cold. You can also get fire or lightning. And then I got the crit multi for attack. Both of these are extremely nice. I got a new ring here. This is basically just my old ring, but this one also has dexterity and I'm still capped. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, that's round about it. I got the Astro Mantis, which I think in hindsight was a pretty bad buy. Also because the catalysts, the attribute catalysts were way too expensive, which I didn't realize until later. Still have Dodres, although these will be on the chopping block soon. And then I still have this belt. I think that's the same from yesterday, and I'm pretty sure the boots are the same. I did upgrade my Quicksilver flask to more evasion, and in general, I automated all my flasks. And I think I also quality'd all of them. This one is not yet. Okay, so now all are also 20 quality. I already talked about my Atlas is now full. Currently running some Ashen Woods. Don't ask, it's whatever. I have 2 Void Stones, which will probably become 4 tomorrow. I have, let's see the passive tree real quick. Yeah, like I said, I filled in a few 1 extra points. These are also going to be in the chopping block. Those are all going to be a cluster jewel eventually. I just didn't have the money yet. And a big thing I will upgrade next is my shield. It's insane that I still don't have spell damage here. That's going to be something for the video tomorrow. In terms of how to get single target damage, please just literally look at the POB. There's so much to get. Right now, my current POB that I have, I think I upgraded something here. I'm probably at like 1 million right now. I gotta update this. Oh yeah, there's no jewels in here. That as well. I'm probably at around about 1 million right now. So I'm still like 2 to 3 million off from the one before Indigon. So you can still upgrade so much more. I still don't even have the Dex mod with attack speed per Dex. So yeah, just look at every single item. Look what you can do. Dexterity, crit multi, all the good stuff. Attack speed, right? Just upgrade over time. That is how you fix your single target damage. Now, as for my setup here, my farming setup that I had, one thing that this build does really well is obviously the clear speed. But how do you leverage that? Now, first up, I will link this down below in the description. I actually don't remember from who this is. I think it might be Snaps. I just got this linked. Sorry if I don't shout you out here. But I will link this down in the description. This has all the idle mods basically in this nice tidy group, so you can look at whatever you want. Now, 2 things we are very good at on this build are Legions and Breaches. Now, Breaches you will see right here, and then Legions is what I chose, but Breaches might even be stronger, but I can't really tell you anything about it. I'll tell you about Legions real quick though. Now, what I'm currently doing is I'm kind of doing Alcan Go. I did a few juiced up maps, but Legion Scarabs right now are like 10 chaos, and these are like, I think, also 10. So I basically I got like a 2 div sale, and then I put everything into scarabs, and I just made more out of it. But usually what I was doing is I was just mapping and using the map device for 5 chaos, and then I also have a total of 100% chance for a legion. It's somewhere in here, I don't know exactly where, but I have an additional 100%. A few important things to note. The first one is if you have modifiers, for example, it says, your maps have plus 18% chance to contain a Legion encounter. If this goes over 100, it does nothing. You want to get this to exactly 100. This does not say an additional, it just means contains a Legion encounter. So for example, as I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong, you start off with the 8% base chance for everything, right, in your map, unless they change that at some point. But then you want to add it to 100% to get that one Legion. You cannot, as far as I know, as of right now, get more than one Legion in total from the idols. So you will have to add it. However, you can juice them. You will add them through the map device. Super important. 5 chaos is super cheap, trust me. And then also, obviously, through scarabs, which are really expensive right now. You really want to use all the incubators you have. Some of the incubators kind of suck, right? I'm not going to do a full rundown of all of this. Maybe I'm going to make a whole video about this. But yeah, you want to use ornate incubators are the best ones. So there's also some diff cards. There's Kalguran. There's Geomancer, which actually has given me a crazy 6 link that is like worth 2.5 divines or whatever. You can get pretty lucky. But ornates are really damn good. These have roundabout 1 in 20 chance to straight up give you a divine. But okay, I digress. So I just wanted to say that. So you don't want more than 100% chance in total. Now, what I did, what is the most important idol here is smash and grab. But this one gives each of your legions, each side a warhorde. And warhordes are the big chests that you can click on. They have a reward. They're incredible. Now, legion chests also contain an additional random reward. So they have 2 rewards. But the downside is you get 60% reduced duration. Now, this goes against increased duration. So it's not less, but you can actually make up for it. So for example, I have 2 here. One is Legion encounters have 40% increased duration, and this one has 56% increased duration. So I make up for it, and I even get more than 100%, right? So that's nice. And from these 2x1s, you can also get Legion monsters take increased damage while in stasis. I also have that twice, which means that it's easier for you to clear Legion, which is especially nice when your damage is pretty low, so you can full clear the Legion against those crazy rares that sometimes spawn with it. So yeah, get a smash and grab. If you can get the best roll, they roll from -60 to -80 and make up for it. Otherwise, you're going to have a really bad time in Legion. But just going in, clearing those warhordes will provide you a lot of currency. Now, in Legions in general, what's going to happen is you're going to get a lot of different bubblegum currency, right? A lot of emblems and whatnot, but that just is what it is. You just have to sell a lot of that stuff. What else do I have? Now, really big as well are Legion encounters have additional sergeants. Those are the rares, and they can have additional rewards. This one's pretty expensive. Like I said, I paid quite a bit for my idols. I think in total, these idols are probably like 2 to 3 divines. One thing I can tell you, and this is important to hear, is don't just focus on your gear, upgrade your idols. It is going to pay off tremendously. And you can't forget that you can still sell those idols later if somebody wants them again, right? Which will probably happen. So you don't actually pay for them. You just borrow, right, them kind of. And then later, if you farm something else, you can resell them and buy others. But it's really important to invest into your idols. Otherwise, you're going to just stay broke all league because there's no Atlas passive tree to just provide you with freebies. And that is a culture shift you'll just have to kind of figure out over time. I have 2 sergeants here as well. The other mods are not that important, but there's a few other good ones that I haven't really had the money for. And then this one, I have the payoff mod, which is the bottom one, 0.65 chance for timeless splinters to drop as emblems in your maps. So 1 in, I don't fucking know, 170 of your splinters will actually be the emblems. And at least as of now, they're pretty good money. They're going to drop down probably all the way to like 20, 30. But right now, these are money. These are whatever, 10C. It's not that big of a deal, but they really do add up. I probably made multiple 100 chaos with just this mod alone. So you can try this out. You can also just go sergeants, not care about it. But for me, this has been an absolute, yeah, great moneymaker. And then at the end, how do I get to 100% chance for my Legion? That I did with these 1x1s. So they have not only chance to contain additional Legion, you can also get Legion Sergeants have 10% additional chance to have rewards. I think that rolls from 5 to 10, I want to say. Yeah, 6 to 10. And that one is crazy. And you can get both on them. And I bought these for like 20C each. They might go up, like I said, because these are really strong. But yeah, they're pretty good, and I kind of just stack them. One more thing I do is I think I have one random one. Yeah, this one I have in here. I think I have 2 of these. Tier 1 to 15 maps I have a 9.4 chance to become 1 tier higher. I have this times 2. This is basically how it worked back in the day. So you're gonna drop a lot more tier 16s, and tier 16s are very good because once you have Watchstones, your Voidstones, you're going to start dropping tier 17s, which sell for like right now 50 to 60 chaos a pop. And at the end, I'll round these out with 2 other ones. So this one is Legions have increased chance to include a Templar army, which is pretty nice. In general, a GG would be both Templar and Marakath, but I'm not made out of Divines right now, so it is what it is, but I will upgrade to that. And then another good mod is Legion monsters, which have rewards, get 2 additional, and then 18%. It's basically another reward mod. So I couldn't really get anything else here, but I bought this one for like, I think 5-6 chaos as well. Having one of those, I think is good. Now, do you know this is not min-maxed? I don't know, like, things are going to come out over time. People are going to test stuff. This is just a very, like, I mean, it's day 2. It's end of day 2. You know what I mean. But yeah, I just wanted to show you this real quick. And if you kind of stick to this, you will make hundreds of chaos to get into the build and get all your items. Just so you know, though, you don't have to follow any of this because I've heard that breaches are also really goddamn good. I've heard from multiple people that they're just farming breach rings, which they then sell for grasping mails, and they make a lot of money that way. Chayula breaches are absolute printing right now, so maybe also look into breaches if you know how to do that. Once again, I'll leave the spreadsheet down below in the description. And yeah, that's about all I got for today. I'm not going to do another map showcase because you already saw it last time, and if you want to, you can always drop in over on twitch.tv/Palsteron to see me live. Like I said, for the next week or so, I'm definitely going to be online every day, around about 10 hours or so, so good chance you're going to see me. But other than that, I've been having an absolute blast with the build. And yeah, hope you did as well. Definitely put down some questions down below if you have it. I'll answer it in the next one. Most likely going to do another update tomorrow. Everything's going really fast because this build is just progressing so much faster than my usual League starters because it's a blaster, right? It's not. Usually I do a lot safer League starters where new players can also follow, but this one's kind of just like an absolute like zoomer. And yeah, hope you guys are enjoying the build. I will be updating